College football finally is here. Welcome to College Football Now. Tyler Jones here with the season already underway and a lot of exciting action coming up this weekend for week number 1. I am going to give you my 5 bold predictions ahead of the 2023 season and what my expectations are. I got some hot takes ahead, so let's go ahead and fire away. Number 1, I might regret this later. Texas is back. I feel like I'm already regretting saying this. I look at this Texas team, folks, and you can't argue about the talent of the Texas Longhorns. Quinn Ewers will be under center. The number 1 ranked quarterback a couple years ago coming out, one of the highest rated recruits ever in college football history, and we saw him take a step forward, but he's still got a big step to go. The talent there, like Xavier Worthy, Jalen Ford, this is without a doubt the most talented team in the Big 12 Conference. My question about the Texas Longhorns is nothing about Texas, actually. I have concerns about Steve Sarkisian. We've seen Sark do a good job, win a lot of football games over the years at Texas and at USC and at Washington. But he's never been able to take that next step and get over the hump. Is Sark the right guy? Can the ego of Texas get in their way? Ultimately, I think the talent for Texas is going to be too much to where even Sark can't even hold them back. Quinn Ewers last season threw for around 58% was his completion percentage. 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He did miss several games after he got injured in that Alabama game. But here's the thing. If Quinn Ewers does struggle, doesn't look the part, Texas has the best quarterback room in the country. They have other options that they could potentially turn to besides Ewers, whether it's Arch Manning. Xavier Worthy has had a terrific camp in offseason. Texas is going to be forced to be reckoned with, and I have them in the college football playoff in 2023 as one of the top 4 teams in America. So, what do you guys think? Is Texas back? Are you going hook 'em, HY for hell yes, or are you going horns down, HN for hell no? Weigh in the comment section, tell me, is Texas back? What do you think? Number 2 on my bold predictions. Primetime, Deion Sanders is in Boulder now with the Colorado Buffaloes. They open up their season on Big Noon Saturday, taking on the TCU Horned Frogs. And a lot of turnover with that Colorado team as they completely flip that roster with 80-plus new players that Deion Sanders has brought in. And there's even new players from when he took over all the way back in the spring as they've retooled this roster a couple of times. Now Deion enters his first season as the head coach in Colorado off a very successful tenure at Jackson State where he went 27-6. And here's the case I would make. I know everybody's making a big deal, like how do you bring in that many new players and lose so many guys and compete right away? And this is what I would tell you. It's going to take time. I don't even expect Colorado to be that competitive against TCU on Saturday, but I do think as the season goes along, this team is going to get better as 2023 continues. I think that's when you're going to see Colorado grow and take those big steps because their talent is too good for them not to. With Sanders, with Travis Hunter, these are some of the best players in all of college football. And you bring in the number 2 ranked transfer portal class according to On3. Colorado is built to succeed for the long term. There's going to be some growing pains, but watch out. I think Colorado can find a way to put together 6 wins and make it to a bowl game in Deion's first season. Number 3 on my bold predictions. Cade Klubnick, the quarterback for the Clemson Tigers. I think he's going to be a Heisman finalist. There's all this talk this year about Caleb Williams, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, and Drake May, who's expected to be the second quarterback taken in next April's draft. But you can't sleep on Cade Klubnick. About every other quarterback at Clemson is a star for this Clemson program, from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence, and I think Klubnick is going to fall in line with that next group. We didn't see a whole lot of Klubnick last year as DJU was the starter for most of the season. He ended up taking the job away from DJU in the ACC championship game, led them to an ACC title, and was named the MVP of that. Former five-star recruit out of Westlake High School in Austin, Texas, the former U.S. Army Player of the Year in 2021. Klubnick's got natural ability, natural intangibles. I think he's going to be very accurate, good arm, very athletic. And I think with Klubnick, you're looking at a guy where Clemson, their schedule's not terrible. That's going to play to his advantage to be able to stack up those numbers and compete for the Heisman. Look, last year, I mean, the numbers don't tell a full story here. 61% completion percentage. He had 3 picks and 2 touchdowns, nearly 700 yards. Played sparingly throughout 10 games last year, but I think Klubnick takes a big step, and you're going to be very impressed to see him continue that great legacy of Clemson and their quarterbacks and potentially put them in the discussion to be QBU. Speaking of the Heisman, who is going to win the Heisman Trophy in college football this season? Could Klubnick get the job done? Could it be Caleb Williams again? Remember, we've only had one back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner ever, that being Archie Griffin. Could we see Drake May? Is it Quinn Ewers? Who wins the Heisman in 2023? Give me your Heisman prediction in the comment section. Let me know who it is. Folks, we are talking more college football all the time here at Chat Sports with the latest happenings in college football. We got you covered as we're talking rumors around the transfer portal, recruiting, conference realignment. We got game previews and more. If you want more college football content, then you need to subscribe today. I believe we can get 30 subscribers off today's video. If we can get 30 subscribers off today's video, I promise you we're going to bring you more college football content here on College Football Now. Number 4 on my list of bold predictions. This will be the final year for Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. Now, I'm not saying the man's going to be fired. Maybe he's forced to resign, whatever you want to technically call it. The end is near for Mike Gundy and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Mike Gundy has had a terrific run with Oklahoma State as he enters his 19th season with the Cowboys. He's won 156 games. He's the best coach in that program's history. He's won a Big 12 title. He's been a 2-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. But all good things must come to an end. And last year, we saw Oklahoma State take a significant step back. At times, it didn't look like their heart was in it, and Gundy made some just careless decisions. It didn't even look like he and his teams, on the same field as some of the opponents they played last year, like Kansas State and Oklahoma and others here. And as Oklahoma State enters this next chapter of Big 12 football, no Oklahoma there, sure, but are they really confident that Gundy is going to take them to that next step? There's a huge opportunity ahead for Oklahoma State to be the team, the face of the new Big 12 conference. And Mike Gundy is not going to be good enough to get the job done. They lost a lot in the transfer portal. I got major concerns about Oklahoma State. They might win 5 games potentially. And you mentioned Oklahoma. I mean, the track record isn't very good. Even when OU was down last year, they still got their ass kicked by the Sooners. Mike Gundy is 3-15 all time against his arch rivals, the head coach at Oklahoma State. I think this is going to be the final sounding bell for Mike Gundy, and we see the man that was once 40 years old on the way out the door in Stillwater. Finally, on my bold predictions, LSU is a fraud. I am selling LSU. They got extremely lucky to win 10 games last year and compete at the level that they did. I looked at that LSU team, and a lot of things went right for LSU last year. You bring back 12 starters, and I got to say, I like Brian Kelly. I think Brian Kelly's a good head coach. But Jaden Daniels is not a good enough passer for me. I think he's way overrated. Neighbors, Brooks Jr., I mean, there's some talented players there, but I think that a lot of those games last year where they got lucky, they'll kind of get exposed for who they really are. Remember this, there's still a transition process that LSU is going through. Brian Kelly is not running the Ed Orgeron, Joe Brady, Joe Burrow, air raid offense of old. They're still shifting to a power run game of traditional pro-style offense football. And I think you're going to see that they're still going through that change, going through those growing pains. They might have great athletes, but not necessarily for what Brian Kelly is trying to do. It's not a good fit for now as far as contending, I think, personally. Tough game against Florida State coming up on Sunday night. That game begins at 6:30 Eastern time. I think I'm leaning towards Florida State. And I get some thoughts on Florida State, too. I don't necessarily think Florida State's that great either. But with that said, we wrap up today. Give me your bold prediction for the 2023 college football season. I've given you a lot of hot takes. Now I want to hear yours. Weigh in the comments section. Give me your hot take for 2023. Subscribe to Chat Sports as we're talking college football here on the channel each and every day. And we got you covered. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of College Football Now. Enjoy the first weekend of college football.